Hey guys, this is Alfred back with another video. Now with the release of 6.0, we are going to get a Chronical Wish banner, and the characters featured will be characters from Sumeru minus their Archon, which is crazy. But anyway, in this video, I will be talking about how good these characters are and whether or not you should invest your PRIMOGEMs in these characters in the upcoming Chronicle Wish banner. Now, of all videos like this, please pull your favorite characters first. This is a gacha game, so you should definitely prioritize your husband and waifus. Doesn't mean that characters meta means you should feel enticed to pull for them, but if you are here for a meta perspective, I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on which of these characters are very strong. And with all that said, let's begin with this video. Now, I'd like to start off by saying that none of these characters are actually particularly good in the current meta. They did have their time to shine in the past, but with the release of Nightbloom and the release of Bond of Life, these are damaging mechanics which are superior to Aggravate and Quick Bloom in the current meta. Obviously, right now there is a huge trend in Burgeon and Burning, so some of these characters can definitely play there. But in terms of main power level, a lot of these characters have been power crept, so do take note and do understand that the power level is not where they used to be. But anyhow, the first character I want to talk about is going to be Alhaitham. He used to be the best Dendro DPS in the game, period. And his main comp that he's very strong in is going to be Aggravate. But once again, with the release of Bond of Life and Nightbloom, he has really fallen off. However, with the release of Nodcry, there are going to be new reactions that will be the main gimmick of Nodcry, and maybe Dendro will have another comeback, seeing that there's going to be a Lunar Bloom mechanic. I'm not too sure of the current numbers yet, but if that's going to be a very decent way of doing damage, Alhaitham will follow in suit. Now remember, he is stronger in Aggravate teams, so generally you're not going to be playing him in a Hyper Bloom team or a Burgeon team, but you can definitely flex them in if you want to pull for Alhaitham. So if you have a lot of good Electro sub DPS, for example you have Fischl Beidou, you can definitely look to pull for Alhaitham and he will do a lot of decent damage for your account. Now if you're not looking for a main Dendro DPS, let's say you're looking for more of a sub DPS, you can definitely look to pull for Tighnari. The best way I can summarize Tighnari is that he is more of a budget version of Nahida, and whatever Nahida does, Tighnari kinda does similar things but not to the same level. He is not a main DPS, so please take note, he is more of a sub DPS or a quick swap DPS. He will be supplementing your main DPS damage, so if you are playing something like a Kaching or a Cyno, you can put Tighnari in your team, quick swap to him whenever just to apply Dendro for the enemy. That is kind of something you can do, although Nahida does what he does better. If you don't have Nahida, you can definitely just look to pull for Tighnari, he will do really well. And also, surprisingly, a decent unit for Burgeon teams. Trust me, I've used him in the end game and it kind of works out. Now with the release of Nodcry, the next character that I actually want to talk about is going to be Nilou. Now Nilou is a Bloom specialist where she can only be played in teams that consist of Dendro and Hydro characters, and her gimmick is basically instead of dropping Dendro cores, she drops Bountiful cores, and these cores explode and do much more damage than the Dendro core. The only problem is that you cannot proc Burgeon or Hyper Bloom on them, so it's just pure Bloom damage. And the reason why I'm saying that she's so good is because in Nodcry there will be a new reaction called Lunar Bloom, and Lunar Bloom, if I am not wrong, can trigger with Nilou's standard Bloom, and if there is a new character that can increase the damage of Bloom reactions, Nilou's usage will definitely be very good. If you want to prepare for Nodcry, I think Nilou is going to be a really safe pickup in my opinion. Now another DPS you can technically pick up is going to be the Wanderer. If you have Chaska, you don't really need the Wanderer because Chaska is really much better than the Wanderer, especially if you have a lot of Netland characters in the team. Chaska is really strong in that case. But one thing to note is that the Wanderer is actually not a main DPS. He is actually more of an enabler rather than the main damage dealing character in the team. Why I say this is because most of the time 50% of their total damage will come from your sub DPS or even more that will be off-field damaging characters. For example, your Furina, your Fischl, your Yaimiko, most of the time you will be pairing Wanderer with these off-field sub DPS characters in order to do consistent barrage of damage. So in that case, his Anemo element actually is to trigger Swirl and to do additional damage on top of your off-field carries. I would like to say he is more of an enabler rather than a main DPS, so do take note in that case. His exploration used to be his cherry on top and the main reason why people people pick him. But once again, with the release of Natlan, he has really fallen off in that department. But nonetheless, if you did not invest in much Natlan characters, you don't have Chaska, etc., you can definitely look to pull for the Wanderer. He is a decent Anemo character that can still be used from time to time. Now, the last two characters are characters I personally do not recommend, but if they are your favorite characters, you can go ahead and pull for them. The first one is going to be Cyno. Now, the reason why I don't really recommend Cyno is because, in my opinion, Keqing is much better than Cyno. I know it sounds crazy, you know, I am a Keqing main and I do play a decent amount of Keqing, and I feel like Keqing is still much better than Cyno, especially in the quick swap Hyperbloom teams. Keqing is just so much better than Cyno. Her gameplay is so much more fluid and you have a lot of better rotations than Cyno, because Cyno has a very stringent rotation where you need to press your skill whenever the prompt comes up on screen, making him a little bit clunky and a little bit harder to use. Definitely, if you do not own Keqing and you want to play quick Hyperbloom teams, you can definitely use Cyno in that case. But if you have Keqing and you have her decently built with another Electro character as well, then Cyno is just completely useless in my opinion. I'm sorry, Cyno mains, but this is the truth that has to be said. Keqing is just much better than Cyno, and she is a standard banner character, meaning you can pick up her constellations, making her much stronger overall than Cyno. Now, the last character I strongly do not recommend, if you get her, is just pretty unlucky, is going to be Dehya. I used to say that Dehya is the premium Burgeon characters, but not anymore. Her Burgeon is so inconsistent. I've tried this in the stringent game mode in Genshin Impact, which is the latest endgame mode, and her power level is absurdly bad. I strongly do not recommend you pick up Dehya at all. So you may ask, in that case, what is her main usage? Well, she can definitely be used in Vaporize or Melt teams in that case, especially if you can use her as a main DPS. But I would feel like the more suitable reaction for her is going to be a sub DPS slash support, where you gotta put your skill on the ground to proc Pyro, build a bunch of EM or HP, whichever you need more in the team, and then just be more of a sub DPS slash a support. So that, in my opinion, is going to be Dehya's role. But if you are looking for a Pyro support slash sub DPS, there are 4-star versions, which you probably have Constellation 6, which is going to be Bennett and Xiangling. They're just so much better than Dehya herself. So in that case, Dehya strongly not recommended unless she is your favorite character. Now, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please do leave a like. It shows me I should do more. Comment down below who you will be pulling for in this banner, or will you be saving for the main event wish banners. And finally, do subscribe. We will be doing more videos like this in the future. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.